Before I start this video, I just want to say that if you haven't seen the previous arc into the Hashira training, I would recommend not watching this video until you've seen that and until you've seen the movie itself. There will be no spoilers in this video, but just so you know, I will be talking about some stuff that happens in the previous arc that lead up to what's going on in this new movie, The Infinity Castle. So let's get into it. Directed by Haruo Sotozaki and Ikaro Kondo, Demon Slayer The Infinity Castle arc has begun, and it is absolutely astounding to say. First of all, the visuals are absolutely cinematically some of the best I've seen animated in a really long time overall. I'm not saying that just to say it, or I'm not just saying that because I'm a big fan of the Demon Slayer franchise, and I'm saying that to say that I'm not really putting that much bias into this statement when I say that the visuals are some of the best that I've seen in an animated series and anime. I mean, I get it. The budget for this was through the roof, and rightfully so. It was absolutely amazing to see the way how they blended the story, the way how they really took like the manga and put it into this anime and just broadcasted it the way they did is astounding. I don't know how many of you have read the manga and know exactly what happens in this arc, but we get rightly thrown in so fast and so hardcore into what happens in the actual manga with this movie, and I will say that those who know, be prepared, because it's pretty brutal what happens in the first 45 minutes of this 2.5 hour movie. So, as many of us know who have watched Demon Slayer or even know a little bit about it, Kamado Tanjiro, his family was massacred by a demon, and his sister was turned into a demon by none other than Kibitsuji Muzan. And the entire time throughout this anime, he is working his tail to the bone so that he can get stronger, so that he can turn his sister back into a human and he can defend others from demons, and so that he can avenge his family. But more than anything, he wants to turn his sister back into a human. He needs to gather blood from higher ranking demons, the highest ranked demons, closely related to Kibutsuji Muzan. And along the way, we see him struggle, we see him try to grow, we see him actually grow. And I will say, from a main character protagonist, some of the best character development that I've seen this year when it comes to something of this nature. We've had a lot of main characters in animes and animated movies, live action movies, comic book movies, all these other things. We've had main characters that have a significant growth, and they get stronger or wiser or better or more adept with their powers or more adept with their natural skill set. Just the way how Tanjiro is just such a kind-hearted and kind-spirited and loving guy, and he's compassionate, and he is so sweet, and he actually cares about people, even evil people. He wants to do the best for them, to give them the most comfortable death. To see him where he is now, from that first episode, hell, from the second arc alone, from the Mugen Train arc, just to see where he is there and here and see him now, especially who he's facing right now. Oh my gosh. It is absolutely phenomenal. So in the previous arc, we see how it ends. Kibutsuji Muzan, he finds Urokodaki's hideout where he has his family, and he kind of lures him there, and we see that unfortunately he gave his life so that the Demon Slayers could come there, find Muzan and attack him, and they could figure out, okay, we finally have him, now let's track him, let's get there, let's do this. And everything that happened, all of them came together and attacked. It was amazing to see such beautiful cinema, and leading into this movie we have that, and we know that certain things happen with Muzan, and I'm going to keep it kind of brief because I don't want to spoil too much, because some of that is in here as well. You see what happened with Muzan and the attack and him kind of going into a certain state. That's where we pick up, and it's just beautiful that they incorporated so many different things and were able to make it work, and not even in a rushed way. So the Infinity Castle is literally the domain of the demons and their demon realm, and Kibutsuji Muzan's basically his hiding lair, or his lair in essence. This Infinity Castle is constantly being thwarted, twirled around and intertwined, intertangled, like, you know, on a quantum level, if you will, and just on a magical level because of the upper four ranked demon, the Biwa woman. The way how they animate that and the way how they bring that into this anime from the manga is beautiful. The way how they establish things that happen in the manga, and yes, I will tell you, we do lose a lot of people in this first movie, and there's a lot more to come, unfortunately. And those who know, it's damn. After watching Demon Slayer firstly years ago, I got to like the second arc, the Mugen Train arc, and I just was like, you know what? Let me go and read the manga. So I read the manga, and I took a while to go back and watch it. And I read the manga, and I got through it, and I saw everything that happens. And wow, the way how these animators and creators and these writers, they blended this and made this story and gave it to the fans in such an excellently executed way is just something to really praise. We see the success from K-pop Demon Hunters, and I foresee something somewhat similar to Demon Slayer, except the fact that it's not originally made in English, so not everybody is right away gonna run and go watch it. It's a whole series to follow up on and catch up on, as opposed to K-pop Demon Hunters just coming out and being a one thing that's brand new and that rightfully deserves the hype and a sequel. So this one, I can foresee it just blowing up over time because of the fan base it has, how new it is, and just because of how much you have to catch up on before you actually watch this. You can't come into this thinking that you're gonna be like, oh yeah, oh okay, that makes sense. So they have a backstory with this and that happens, but why is he referencing this guy and who are those two guys? No, you're not. No. From the manga, we have several different matchups here, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody just yet. I do want to do a spoiler video on this because I just want to talk about it nonstop, especially the fights that happen. But you see a lot of the fights, or some of the fights at least in the trailer, and you see in the trailer that there's a significant fight that happens between Giyu Tomioka, Kamado Tanjiro, and none other than the upper 3 ranked demon Akaza. Akaza is honestly one of my favorite villains in the Demon Slayer world, just because of how he fights. He's a street rat who fights with his hands and his feet. You've seen some backstories of some demons, and we've seen a little bit of stuff and how they might have gotten there. We get to dive into different people and their backstories here, some Hashiras and their backstories, some demons and their backstories, seeing certain fights from before and referencing it to them to now, and it's just crazy how they did this in 2.5 hours. I am very, very pleased with what they showcased within that time frame. A lot of the characters that we know and love are unfortunately going to go through some severe and deadly hardships, no pun intended. The fight scenes throughout Demon Slayer's time from the beginning until now have always been just top-notch, like through the roof. The animation is beautiful, it's crisp, it's clean. And when you see this, it literally looks like a real life movie to some degree in certain scenes, especially with the Infinity Castle and them doing the cinema aspect of it, looking at the cinematography of the actual lair of the Infinity Castle. It's called the Infinity Castle for a reason. It's constantly changing, and there's an infinite amount of buildings in there, an infinite amount of passageways. It's just so intense when you're in there. And they showcase that through the emotion of and the animators and everybody who worked on this. Thank you for that. As a Demon Slayer fan, thank you. Because the way how they were able to pinpoint the reactions and pinpoint the way how people fall into the Infinity Castle and what happens when the Biwa woman hits her instrument and changes everything. And the way the story plays out throughout the manga itself, but from what I can see what they're doing based off this first movie, man, we fans are going to be really, really, really pleased with what they follow up with the next 2 movies. So even though a lot happened in this first movie, I mean a lot, and we saw some people on both sides, you know, lose their lives, unfortunately. There is so much more to come. There is a lot that we're going to get into, backstories with people on both sides, and especially a lot of these demons, these upper ranked demons that we've seen in that one episode. I believe it was arc 4, the beginning of the Swordsmith Village arc, where they're in that Infinity Castle and Muzan is having a meeting with all of them. We get to see like some of these ranked demons that we haven't seen before. We just hear about the upper ranks. So it's nice to see them getting more involved and see a little bit more about them and a little bit more about these Hashiras and what's going on. What an amazing way to tell the story, and what an interesting and very well thought out way to develop these characters. So thank you so much for joining me in this review and kind of this appraisal of this movie. It's much appreciated. Let me know what you thought, if you've seen this movie already, or if you're planning to see it, if you're all caught up, if you still have some things to see. Let me know. Leave a comment down below and we can talk about it. Thanks again for watching, guys. Until the next one.